Hi there, Kendra Tolbert here. I'm a registered dietitian and yoga teacher, and I specialize in women's health and fertility. And today's practice is one that I'm referring to as mindful sensual movement for fertility. And I'm calling it that because it's not strictly yoga, it's actually this mishmash or blend of some of my favorite movement modalities, including belly dance and just dance in general, intuitive movement that comes from my heart and from my hips and feels good in my body and hopefully feels good in yours as well as yoga. I hope that these poses and forms of movement that we'll be exploring in this practice leave you feeling in touch with your fertility, your sensuality, your creativity, and anything else that you're hoping to get in touch with today. So at the end of this practice, make sure you stick around to the very end because I'm going to be sharing 3 journal prompts so that you have an opportunity to more closely examine your relationship with fertility and sensuality. All right, so go ahead, grab your mat, grab your journal, your pen or pencil or whatever else you might like to have with you for the journal practice, and let's get started. Come down to the center of your mat with your knees bent and the soles of your feet flat on the floor. Lie all the way back with your arms alongside your body. Allow your knees to fall in towards each other. Then walk your feet out as wide as your mat. Turn your palms to face up. Then, if you'd like to, close your eyes. Bring your attention to your breath. Notice the rise and fall of your chest. Notice how your lower abdomen expands and contracts as you breathe deeply. Throughout today's practice, I encourage you to explore what sensuality means to you. Ask yourself, what is sensuality? What does this word really mean to me? Bring your feet closer together so they're about hips width apart. Then walk your feet back so they're just about underneath your knees. Turn your palms to face down. On your next inhale, arch your lower back. Then as you exhale, come back to neutral. Inhale to arch and rock your pelvis. Exhale, come back to neutral. Continue with this cat-cow movement at your own pace, moving in a way that feels good to you today. Allow this rocking cat-cow motion to morph into circles or hip rolls. Circle your hips in one direction. Change the direction of your circles. Come back to neutral, then roll over onto one side. Slowly press yourself up. Take a seat at the center of your mat with the soles of your feet together and your knees falling away from one another down towards the mat. Bring your hands to your feet, then begin to arch your spine as you inhale. Round your spine as you exhale, once again exploring this cat-cow movement, but this time in a seated position. Come back to a neutral position. Place your hands over to one side, bring your knees together, and then kneel at the center of your mat. Hips resting on your heels, or you can place a prop between your hips and your heels. With your hands resting on your thighs, begin to circle your hips. Allow those circles to move up your body so that now you are including your chest. Maybe your shoulders also get involved. Maybe even your neck and your head. Move freely. Change the direction of your circles. Allow the focus of your circles to move down your body so that now you're more concentrated on the movement at your rib cage. And finally, allow your attention to trail back down so that your movement is concentrated in your hips. Come back to neutral, then arch your spine. Inhale to circle your arms up overhead. Exhale, circle your arms down. Again, inhale up. Exhale down. Final time, inhale, arms stay up. Then as you exhale, bring your hands down to the mat in front of you, palms are pressed against the mat. Then walk your knees back so they're right underneath your hips and you are on all fours. Inhale to arch your spine. Exhale, round. Continue exploring cat-cow and what sensuality means to you at your own pace, in your own way. The next time your back is arched, send your hips back towards your heels. Then, as you exhale, round your spine and rock forward. Inhale to arch, send your hips back. As you exhale, you'll round and shift forward. Continue waving through cat-cow. This next time that your spine is arched and your hips are moving back, allow your hips to fully rest onto your heels. Walk your hands forward and bring your forehead down to the mat for child's pose. Then, rock your head from side to side, massaging your forehead into the mat. Slowly come back up onto your hands and your knees. Then step your left foot forward on the outside of your left hand. Bring your hands to the top of your left thigh. Press your hands into your thigh. Bend your knee more deeply. Arch back. Come back up. Release your right hand to the side. Then as you inhale, circle your right arm up. Exhale, stretch to the left. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, circle your arm down. Inhale, circle your arm up. Exhale, stretch to the left. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, circle your arm down. Inhale, arm comes up. Exhale, stretch to the left. Stay here, breathing deeply. Inhale to come back up. Exhale, bring both hands down to the mat. Shift your hips back as you straighten your front leg. Alternate flexing and pointing your front foot as you breathe deeply. The next time your foot is pointed, make your way back onto all fours, then shift your hips from side to side. What do you notice in your hips? When you're ready, bring your right foot forward on the outside of your right hand. Bring your hands to the top of your right thigh. And once again, bend your front knee deeply as you arch back. Come back up. Release your left hand down. Inhale to circle that left arm up overhead, and as you exhale, stretch over to the right. Inhale to come up through center. Exhale, circle down. Inhale, circle up. Exhale, stretch to the right. Inhale, circle up. Exhale, circle down. Inhale, circle up. Exhale, stretch to the right. Stay here. Breathe here. Inhale to come back up. Exhale, bring both hands down to the mat. Shift your hips back. Straighten your front leg. And point and flex your foot while breathing deeply. The next time your foot is pointed, come back onto all fours. Sway your hips from side to side, noticing what you feel here. Step your left foot forward on the outside of your left hand. Curl your right toes under, lift your right knee, and step your right foot forward on the outside of your right hand. Turn your toes out, lower your hips, and come into a squat. Feel free to lift your heels if that feels good to you, or lift your hips if that feels good to you. This is your practice. Decide what feels best to you. If your hands are not already on the mat, place them on the mat in front of you. Lift your hips, straightening your legs. Widen your stance, turn your toes out, then lower your hips, placing your hands onto the tops of your thighs. Sway your hips, shift your weight from side to side. Come back to center, then straighten your legs. Stretch your arms up overhead. Circle your wrists. And circle them in the other direction. Circle your arms down by your side. Turn your toes in and out to walk your feet underneath your hips. Place your hands onto your hips and begin to explore different hip motions here. Maybe you try circles, or you bend your knees and scoop your hips up and down, swaying from side to side as you do so. Maybe you simply sway them from side to side, or you make figure eights, or you shimmy. Just find what feels good to your body and do more of that. Come back to a place of stillness. Circle your arms up overhead. Arch back. And as you exhale, fold forward, placing your hands down towards the mat. Bend one knee, then bend the other, alternating bending and straightening one leg, and then the other as you breathe here. Straighten both legs, widen your stance, turn your toes out, bend your knees, lower your hips, and come into your squat. Make your way onto your hands and your knees. This time though, keep your toes curled under, then sit your hips back onto your heels or place a prop between your hips and your heels and sit there. Breathe deeply. On your next inhale, circle your arms up overhead, wrists cross. Then as you exhale, think of sweeping your arms to shoulder height, almost as if you were flapping wings. Continue exploring that movement. The next time you exhale, wrap your arms around yourself, embracing yourself fully. Sweep your arms back out to the side. As you exhale, once again, embrace yourself. Sweep your arms back out. Inhale, bring them up. Then as you exhale, come onto your hands and your knees, uncurl your toes, tap the tops of your feet into the mat. Then sit back onto your heels. Walk your hands behind your feet, arch back, shift your hips over to one side and bring your legs out in front of you, knees bent, soles of your feet flat on the floor, lie back, arms are by your sides. Allow your knees to fall together, walk your feet out wide, turn your palms up. Bring your attention first to your breath, noticing the rise and fall of your chest. Then notice the expansion and contraction of your lower abdomen. And finally, bring your attention to your pelvic floor. What do you sense here? Walk your feet towards each other so they're about hips width apart. And allow your knees to separate so they're about hips width apart. Walk your feet towards your bottom. Then, as you inhale, arch your spine. Exhale to come back to neutral. Continue rocking your pelvis back and forth in your own way, at your own pace. Make this the final time you come back to neutral, and bring the soles of your feet together. Then allow your knees to fall away from one another down towards the mat. Place one hand at the center of your chest and the other at your lower abdomen. If your eyes aren't closed, and it would feel good to do so, I invite you to close your eyes. Bring your attention to your pelvic floor. And as you inhale, allow your attention to trail back towards your tailbone, up your spine to the crown of your head. And as you exhale, allow your attention to trail down the front of your body and back down to your pelvic floor. Stretch your arms up overhead. Lengthen your legs. Then bring your hands down to the mat on either sides of your hips, palms up. Rest here. Bend your knees, then roll over onto one side. Slowly press yourself up and come to a comfortable cross-legged seated position. Rest your hands on your knees. Then place one hand at the center of your chest. Rest the other on your lower abdomen. Release your hands down by your sides. Then inhale to circle your arms up. Exhale to circle them down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Last time. Inhale up, palms touch. Exhale, hands come to the center of your chest. Thumbs rest against your sternum. Take a moment to acknowledge the time you've given yourself. Release your hands down. And slowly flutter your eyes open to take in your surroundings. As you take in your environment, see if you can name 5 things you can see. Then, 4 things you can touch or feel. 3 things you can hear. 2 things you can smell. And maybe 1 thing you can taste. When you're ready, grab your journal. I'm going to be reading the journal prompts to you, but they're also in the description box below. So if you want to stop the video here and just follow along to the questions that you see in the description box, that is totally an option. Another option is to allow the questions to play and pause so that you have time to really explore these questions for yourself. Let's get into the first question. Does the idea of fertility and sensuality being inextricably intertwined resonate with me? Why or why not? How or how not? What is my relationship with my sensuality? How is it the same as or different from my relationship with my fertility? What's one way I can add more sensuality to my daily life? Thank you for practicing with me. I hope that you enjoyed both the sequence and the journal prompts. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be well, and bye for now.